do for the collective patrimony of Ebonyi people. This is not common. I go around the 36 states of the Federation, I listen, I pay attention, I observe. It does not happen as frequently as it happens here. So for those who believe in fake news, for those who believe in rumor, for those who think that fabrication will replace facts, I invite you today, whether you're in this hall or anywhere within Ebonyi State or outside of Ebonyi State, ask your questions. It will not be filtered. It will not be moderated. Ask them as raw as you can. Subject your governor. Subject your leader to scrutiny. This is what democracy is all about. And whatever question you ask, however deep you probe, I guarantee you there shall be no consequences. There will be no reprisals because we believe in democracy. And therefore, without much ado, ladies and gentlemen, this program, which is being aired live by Ebbc, both on Salt FM and on Salt TV, is reaching Ebonians and Nigerians in Cross River State, in Kogi State, in Benue State, in Enugu State, in Abia State, and of course every nook and cranny of Ebonyi. So wherever you are, pick up your phone. As the program unfolds, we will give you the telephone numbers that you will call or text messages that you will send directly to the governor, and you have the answers that you need to the questions that trouble you as a citizen. I invite you to participate. Thank you and God bless you all.
Thank you very much, distinguished Senator Emmanuel, Honorable Commissioner for Information. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, before we start, we want to very humbly welcome to this event Her Excellency, the Mother of the State, Chief Mrs. Rachel Ogonauma. Your Excellency, you're most welcome. On behalf of my colleague in this business from 101.5 Unity FM, Cleric Ujomanta, once again, my name is Monde Uzo, welcoming you to the program. Your Excellency, you're most welcome. Your Excellency, we begin this way by inviting you to address the people on some of your modest achievements. Your Excellency, sir.
Thank you, Your Excellency, my dear wife, Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Ebonyi State, the Right Honorable Speaker of Ebonyi State House of Assembly, the National Vice Chairman of our party, the former Deputy Governor, the Chairman of Elders Committee, the Deputy Speaker of Ebonyi State House of Assembly, the National Assembly members that are here with us, the State Assembly members that are here with us, my friends, the school members, our local government chairmen, our founding fathers, our elders committee, the security chiefs, the incoming coordinators, management committee members, TAs and STAs, boards and commissions, chairmen and members, dear Ebonians that are listening to us. I want to say good evening to all of you and to also say congratulations and happy 21 years of the existence of the state of Ebonyi and 57 years of the freedom of our people, Nigeria. My interaction this evening is going to stand as my address. So tomorrow there will be no address. So I'm giving my address today. Unfortunately, I didn't write my address because we've been very busy. But my address will be produced and then will be made available to the public within 7 days from tomorrow. So I will start by saying we welcome you all to this historic celebration of the 57th year of Nigeria's nationhood and the remarkable and eventful 21st year of the creation of the pride of our socio-political identity, Ebonyi State. In wishing you very eventful and happy celebration, I bring also good tidings of joy and prayers for divine protection and favor as we march on to our destiny. In our avowed commitment to create a new Ebbc state of the dream of our founding fathers, we christened the platform upon which God brought us into leadership and raised us so high above our detractors to be divine mandates. As the name implies, from the testimonies of the public and with gratitude to our God, we can humbly say that all we have achieved within the 2 years of our mandate, which you overwhelmingly entrusted on us, has been monumental. We have kept hope alive and delivered on our campaign promises despite the very challenging obstacles that had stared us and is still staring us on our face, of which we have surmounted most of them. Today, my dear brothers and sisters, I stand before you in total humility and in thanksgiving to the Almighty God for making us partakers in the renewal and reconstruction of our today Ebbc state. Undoubtedly, this year's celebration for us as a people comes at an important juncture in the annals of our nation, when we have collectively worked hard and traversed the very hard terrain to achieve great development in the state. In the previous year's anniversary celebration of this day have been devoted to stock-taking and enumeration of our achievements as a people. Our collective challenges of which is security and economic downturn have been a major on the list. But today, my dear brethren, we have modified the observation of this annual event such that it will no longer be business as usual. Rather, it will become a commemoration of our collective achievements, a people of common inheritance. 21 years after the creation of Ebbc state, we have kept hope alive and made sacrifices that have been defined our underlying spirit as a people who are destined to survive and surmount their immediate problems and forge ahead towards achieving common tasks, which are development and emancipation from mental slavery. There is no going saying the fact that the observation of the National Independence Day coincide with the creation of Ebbc state, but we shall take little time of the euphoria of the celebration of Nigerian nationhood to elaborate on our achievement as a people and our new zeal to change the face of the state and develop our potential to march along with our peers, bearing in mind that 21 years is an age of great maturity. Let me emphasize that the spirit of our founding fathers was that should Ebbc state be created, Ebbc state will survive based on the material and human resources that God endowed us with. And I believe strongly, to the glory of God, that we kept faith with this. And so we will try to give a brief account of how far we have gone so far in this journey that God gave to us. And so we start with the urban renewal. I think we must give thanks to God, and with all gratitude to Him, we can say we now have a capital city which we have built from the foundation that was laid by the two previous administrators and the giant efforts made by the first civilian governor of this state, Dr. Sam Ominyewu. We have dotted our capital city with flyovers, and I can assure you that the length of our flyover, each of them is the longest in the country. My commissioner for power says that Ebbc state is better.
Mountains and trees, and the land and the trees, and the
due account of what we've done towards our capital city beautification. But the matter speaks for itself. But like I said, we try to dot our capital city with some flyovers. We have been able to tar over 200 kilometers of internal road. What we are going to do is that from the second week of December, we dedicate a whole 10 days towards commissioning of projects in Ebbc State. We have over 80 kilometers of internal road within the streets we never know were in existence that we have fully completed. We have also introduced, fountains, and I'm happy that our people, they like fountains. Sometimes they will take their pictures and print, and if the treasure, somebody says, when did you go to Dubai? Says, no, I'm in Ebbc. How can you say that? But that is the spirit we came. It's the spirit that Ebbc State can no longer be neglected. And so our capital city is competing with other best capital cities in Nigeria, and I believe strongly that by the conclusion of our first tenure, by God's special grace, we can measure among the best capital cities in Nigeria. We've done quite a lot in terms of electricity for our capital city, and we're still counting. We talk about security. We have made sure, as one of our campaign promises, that security takes, major position in terms of our policy making. We have formed the neighborhood watch, and we are also working very seriously with our, security agencies, and I want to commend them publicly. In our case, is different because God is on top of our case. If you check other states, you will find out about the security challenges they are passing through. But we have men and women of the security forces that are very selfless and very committed to securing our lives. When we are sleeping, they are awake. When we are awake, they are awake. So I want to thank them, thank my senior special assistant of security. I can say that it's a gift to me because beyond security, he does so many other jobs and is very trusted. So I can beat our chest and say that people are sleeping with their two eyes closed. And in the months ahead, we are going to intensify more efforts, through manning all our exit points with solar, lights and CCTV, and then posting joint security, task forces to mine all our exits, so that even if you attempt to kidnap anybody in Ebbc State, it will be difficult for you to take the person out. And I want to also say that we are very much worried that in spite of the death sentence, placed on whoever is convicted on kidnap has not stopped. But I thank God that Ebbc State has been far reduced. I'm not sure that since the year we have had more than 2 cases of kidnap, which we successfully through the security agencies tackled, and the culprits are already standing trial. But I'm praying very, very hard that God will give me the spirit and the conviction and the courage to sign death warrants of the convicted criminals. And I was, reviewing the situation with some, Reverend Father, that has a program in Enugu. They also operate in Ebbc State, and their job is to rehabilitate, convicted criminals on death sentence. And the pressure they put on us, we pardon death. But when you look at the underlying factors and the circumstances surrounding their crime, you will show no mercy. But we leave our hearts open to God, that God will direct us on what to do. But man, humanity to man is quite condemnable, and we are looking at the matter. We look at a chunk of our ministry, that's works and transport. But let me start with transport. We have directed that at the exits of our home again, we should create a park there. We want all the big trucks that are coming from there to go through the park, so that they will be able to pay their tolls and IGR, We also say that they have to create another park, at the boundary between Enugu and Ebonyi State. This is very vital and important. We have done quite very well in terms of, our roads. Not only that, we have massive road construction going on in Ebonyi State, the quality of these roads are also very wonderful. And it is no longer business as usual. We have a monitoring team led by the woman I call Ebbc. I had to provide security for her so that she will not face any intimidation, and that's Mrs. Uche. And what we do is that every certificate that is generated, we pass through her. And she goes through with her equipment and her team to monitor all projects that are ongoing, ensure the quality of the work is established and maintained, and ensure that we have value for the money that we pay for these roads. Our program, a minimum of 15-kilometer route, is still ongoing. For example, in Ebbc, we have 23.8 kilometers of concrete road, of which we have completed over 85% of that road. We have the Niger Same road still on concrete, which is 15.5, and what is remaining there is just 3.5 kilometers, and that job will be completed. We have the road that is going from Amasiri to Oposi to Uburu, which is 23 kilometers, and I think about 8 plus 6 is 14. What is left of the road is about 7 kilometers. We have the road that is going from Abomege to Okawo to Ubulangu to Oposi. That project is started with a very long bridge, and that bridge is about 80% done, and the earthwork on that road and the drainage and culvert is about 90% done. We have the almighty road, which is the Abakaliki-Afikpo road, which is 14.5 kilometers. Since completed, but we are using concrete to do the shoulders so that that road will not die at all. We have the road that is going from Obiozara to Onitsha to Oshiri to Eziama in Onueke, and the total kilometer is about 32 kilometers, and over 70% of that job has been done. We have the road that is going from Uburu to Isu. Over 95% of that project is done. We have the road that is going from Amasiri to Owutueda to Abonwana. We have done over 60% of that road, and we've since completed 2 bridges there. We have the road that is ongoing in Afikpo, not local government. Over 70% of that road is done. We intend to dualize the axis of a K market in Afikpo, and we have told the Afikpo people, look, we don't have money to pay compensation. If you give us right of way, then we'll be able to dualize about 5 kilometers at the axis of a K market. Already we changed the street light in Afikpo to be the new hybrid solar power light, so that we don't have problem of fueling and problem of theft. We have the road that is going from Abakaliki to Funai in Ipo local government. That's 18.5 kilometers. Majority section of that road is on concrete, but we also asphalted all of them. You will never know that concrete was used there, but it is completed 18.5 kilometers. We also have another 5.7 kilometers, I call it Senator Ngeles Road, that was fully asphalted. What is left is just to concrete the sites, and that's at Nkwego there. And you also, the road to Ezra North is a little bit unfortunate, but we've terminated the job, and the new contractor we merged this coming week, and that job will be completed before the end of December. I personally called the ICPC to arrest the contractor, who is a Lebanese. So he's been arrested, and the matter has been investigated to recover our money. And we have the road that is in Ebonyi local government, Domoke, I think it's Sheke to Domoko, and it's 15 kilometers. The road has been restarted. and we will complete that project before the end of February next year. We can go ahead and name the roads over and over and over, and the road we took over at PDP Secretariat, we have completed the first layer of the asphalt. But we are so afraid because the section that is done by a reputable contractor along the same axis from Abakaliki to Afibo to Enugu is failed almost. So we are planning that instead of doing the last coat with asphalt, we convert it to concrete so that we'll be assured that the road is going to, last. Time will fail me to name all the roads that are ongoing in Ebonyi State, but the Akeze to Ishagu road is also ongoing, and over 70% of the job is done. Our prayer is that these roads, before the end of December, we should have been able to complete over 80% of the roads. We have not forgotten the Ntezi Aba to Isu road. We are going to tackle it next year because the contractor we brought, did 3 kilometers of stone base, but we suspected him he was going to defraud us. So we allowed him to, fizzle out instead of releasing our money. So we have done a lot of bridges. We have 4 bridges that are ongoing at Nkalago. We have 1 bridge at Izzi that we did. We have 2 bridges at Wonfe that we did, and are still counting. So what is our future for routes? By next year, we are going to buy some bulldozers. We are committed to dualizing Abakaliki to Enugu Road, and we just put the bulldozers there and forget them. And the road will wait for us in our second tenure by God's special grace. We do the same thing with Abakaliki to Afibo. We are going to do the same thing. Well, before you know it, we would have done the earthwork, and then we do concrete. And what we intend to do is that when we finish, that will be our own state road. We will tow the road. So by the time the other roads are bad, you choose between going through the bad road or going through our own road and pay some tolls. That is what we are going to do, because our own roads on concrete will never go down. And we have plans to build a tunnel. The flyover we want to do at the Ebonyi Hotel is now going to be a tunnel, and that will start by January. We have also another tunnel that we are going to build at Akanejam, roundabout there, and more flyovers will come at Niger Sem, Kalagu Junction. Flyover will come at the junction of Banco, and then of course we're going to have flyover to fly into the ecumenical center. This is so far what we have done on roads, which time we fell us to. And then we come to, let me mention that in terms of transport, that we partner with a company to take over in partnership the Ebbc Trans. And so if that partnership works out, you will see brand new buses and cars in Ebonyi State. I believe it's working out. And let me mention something about the ring road. Our detractors say that the road petition, and I laughed, and say that the money will be misused. Let me publicly say that they are wallowing in a big ignorance. This money will not be credited to the account of Ebonyi State government. This contract will be awarded by ADB. It will be funded by ADB. And in fact that we pay contractors, which will be selected by them, in dollars. So it has nothing to do with us other than that it's a loan that is taken by the federal government, not even Ebonyi State government. And the federal government will in turn loan to Ebonyi State. So everything must not dissolve to politics. In Kaduna State, similar 150 million was taken by federal government, and they lent to Kaduna State, and they built the largest poultry farm in the whole of West Africa. and that will benefit them. So when I saw them going to court and writing petition, not that they have the power to stop it, because it's only God that has the power to stop it. And so I pity them, so much, because they don't know what they're doing. And it was the same past administration that is writing this petition that together initiated it. The worry about the cost, I have nothing to do with the cost, because the cost was what was presented by them. And the fraud of the past administration was enormous. To design that route, they paid 199 million. I wouldn't pay more than 30 million to design that route. So they were the one that designed it. They were the one that paid 199 million. And so I want them to calm down if they can, but if they want to continue in bitterness, that is their problem. I'm a child of God, and everything works for good to those that trust in the name of the Lord. So let me assure them that no power on earth can stop that ring road from being built. And already we contracted 20 kilometers of it, and it's ongoing, and over 80% of it has been done. I didn't mention it in Ohupu, it's ongoing. So that is about the ring road. And the past administration was the one that contacted Ebbc, and Ebbc contacted Islamic Bank. And let me make it very clear that there is nothing Islamic in the loan. There is nothing Islamic in the loan, because the federal government paid $1 billion to as their own share in Islamic business under Babangida's administration. And it was Okonji Iweala that became the first director of Islamic Bank. So there is nothing Islamic. Is it A to Z oil also took loan from Islamic Bank to build the engine oil. So there's nothing Islamic about it, and it was Ebbc that also contacted Islamic Bank to co-finance the project. So I want our people to be assured, because you give it all kind of interpretation. And then Ministry of Water Resources, I just got some of our observations in this thing. I didn't mention that we have completed the 5 kilometer of urban renewal in Onweke. It's fully completed, and we are going to use solar lights to do it. And we also want to dualize 3.5 kilometer, at Onweke axis. We're already working very hard on that. In terms of the water resources, when we came on board, Oferekwe was not working, but we were able to put it to work, and we paid the contractor all that is owed to him, less only 50 million. And all the burst pipeline along the way has been fully rectified. We are pumping water from there. In Ezilo too, it was a moribund, and we fully, rolled out in Ezilo. Today we are pumping water from Ezilo, and we are replacing a lot of the lines that are very, very old. And we are also reactivating our pumping stations. You have the one that is at the overhead tank here. You have the one in Onweke. You have the one at the Juju here. You have the one that is going to Funai. This project will be completed by November, and we hope to pump water either from Oferekwe or from Ezilo, and they will be able to supply both Isi, Ikwo, Abakaliki, Zambo, and the environs, 24-hour, water. In partnership with the federal government in the Ivo Water Project, we are doing fresh water project for Ivo local government, and the job is about 70% done, but the pipeline has not started. It will get started. We also have the Ubru water project, which we reactivating. We are building one tank at Ubru there. We are building one tank at Ugulau, and we want to use the tank to give water to Onitsha local government, part of Ishelu, give water to Ozra local government, and it's almost done. But the success story is that there is a project of water in Okao, which 3.4 billion was already paid. And when we came on board, the contractor was nowhere to be found. We made all the efforts to get him back on site. It couldn't. So we had to terminate the project. And then we used our engineers to start the project. Today, we are about 70% done. And what we want to do is to build big water reservoir at Ugulangu. And we will use it to give water to Onweke. And we use it to also give water to Ishelu. We will now build, a pumping station at Amasri and use it to pump water to Eda and use it to pump water to Afipo North. And this will be our target to cover this remaining local government. In Abakaliki here, we have divided the capital city of Abakaliki into 18 discos. And what we are doing is to get into one disco and then finish all the reticulation. We are laying pipelines, but the good thing is that we are producing the pipes we are laying with our factory, a pipe factory. And so, but of course we are paying for the raw materials. And we are paying the company because it's a company. We pay them the cost of the pipes, and we are using our ministry engineers to do the reticulation. Today we have done over 8 of the discos, and so we hope that by February every section of the capital city is going to have water that we'll be very proud of. But soonest by December we start paying for our water. We have directed that every house should be connected and then metered. And so it's good news and it's also bad news. The Ministry of Local Government, when we came on board, we emphasized the need for agriculture in our local government areas. And I'm very proud that God gave us the wisdom, and what we did was to pay little money for dozer, to acquire 13 dozers. Even at the tractor said there was no money, there was no dozer that was purchased. But incidentally, it's the senior brother that received the dozers. And so, and they are not hidden there everywhere in the state, and they were commissioned. And so these dozers, we didn't have all the money, we just paid little money. And it was at the cost of 30 million per dozer. Today, we want to buy, and each dozer is going for 60 million. And yet we have not completed the payment of those dozers. What a God we serve. So we're grateful to God, and we thank the local government chairman. The essence of these dozers is to tackle our agriculture. If you check the problem of agriculture, it's because our lands are not flat. So we want to use these dozers to make our land flat. If you go to developed countries, you find out the lands, they are flat, because when you have water, the water should be evenly distributed. Otherwise, the rice will now do well in some sections and will be very bad in other sections. And the local government people that have been able to do 6, minimum kilometer of street light. And somebody criticizes and says people are hungry. When I roll out our empowerment program, you find out whether the last administration ever empowered any Ebonyian. And so the salaries are paid between 15th and 18th of every month. The gratuity, they have commenced payment, and I'm sure by December we'll be able to pay 50%. But let me emphasize that a member of past administration, didn't mind shame to say that the immediate past commissioners should be paid their gratuity. They should tell us whom they paid gratuity during 8 years. And so they should be ashamed. So we are starting our gratuity without paying them. If they like, let them write to Obama. They will not be paid. I will not pay them. Trump may be mercy on them. So I want to announce that I will not pay them the gratuity until I've paid all the people they did not pay before I will pay them the gratuity. And we are not aware of any pension being owed by the local government. I want to commend them very, very highly for what they are doing. In terms of lands and housing, is also a success story. But let me start by thanking God that we've started the house of prayer that we promised God, and that's the ecumenical center. I'm sure when we finish it, there may be no any other ecumenical center in this country that will be that big, because it's sitting on 10,000 square meter, that's 1 hectare of land. This we have done. We started 3 buildings in the new government house. The initial contract is about 90% done, and that is the structural works. One of the giants construction company gave us a total bill of 12 billion for that initial builders work, but we were able to do that with less than 2 billion, and that is a very success story, and the quality is very wonderful, done by Ebonians, contractors of Ebonians. No white man is there. But in the weeks ahead, we are going to be working very hard, curating housing estate. We've acquired land at Wofe. We've also acquired land at opposite the pulverization center in Ezanot there. And we are in top discussion with the investors who will come in to build some of the, the houses and say to our people. And we are also in discussion with our ESCO members, some of our appointees, to give them land, so that these builders will also invest to build for them. We have many, projects that is completed by the Ministry of Lands and Housing. This place is one of them. The Presidential Lodge is also there. We also have, the stadium is in conjunction with Youth and Sports. I will say about that when I get to Youth and Sports. And then you have the gigantic, mini mall that is ongoing in, that place. So far, so wonderful. We have the mushroom, center. We want to start breeding mushroom in Ebonyi State, and it's a very nutritious food. And with the more that is coming, both for our own and that of Roban, that would be another source of revenue for us. And let me announce to Ebonyi people that by the month of October, we will start the ultra-modern Abakaliki Mall. And the mall, the beauty, the design will be what is known in the country. And we want to prove a point. The point is that we discuss with many investors, but I think that they are invaders, not investors, who wanted to cheat us. And they were requesting that we contribute an amount that will be equal and even more, cost of building the mall. So we have, done a design. We took some of our architects and the commissioner to Dubai, and we spent 7 days to do the design. The design is ready. It will come to the procurement council, and that job will be awarded, and the building will start. Don't ask me where the money is coming. The Lord will provide. And that more, if you say that the ecumenical center is big, that more is something else. When we start it, you will see what is going on. We have the also pulverization plant. That one is sitting on 1 hectare of land. And by November, that project is completed, machines installed, and our people will be able to start selling their waste. So instead of paying money to clear the waste, the people will clear the waste, and the operators of the plant will buy the waste, and so we will increase, jobs in Ebonyi State, and more revenue will be there. So the Ministry of Power may not be able to elaborate, much more in some of these other ministries. The power is doing great work. Ebonyi State is now in a state of light, and we are the light of the world. We are very happy for that. We fully paid $700,000 for 2 biomass plants that we're going to put in some of our rice mills. So the rice crops that is being bought and that is environmental users is going to be the raw material of this plant, And I believe that by December this plant will be commissioned. The project for the housing are already, awarded. And we are also starting a new program on electricity. We have acquired what was left of news engineering, and that's worth over 300 million. And then we're going to use it to, step up our rural electrification. We also purchased 50 kVA, dedicated solar grid panels, and one is at Ebbc there. The other one will be Presbyterian Joint Hospital, Uburu. But we are experimenting with that of Ebbc, with the Ebbc bus stop, and we're going to build a befitting gate for the university so that we will be able to, test. And so gradually we are going to be going off the grid of generators and be looking at the renewable energy, to do this. We are also talking with some investors because we have coal in our people, and we also have gas that is also within this coal zone. We are talking very seriously to bring investors and see if we can have our own power, over there. The Southeast governors are also talking with federal government. We have very large, gas pipeline project that is ongoing at Imo State by Shell, and we've written to the federal government and to share to say, look, we want to get a piece of this, meal, so that in the 5 southeastern states, the pipeline will come into the capital city, and so we go to our industrial zone. So the federal government had written back to us to say, identify the industrial zones and then give us specific activities in this industrial zone, and we oblige. So that we are very happy, and when the gas comes, it will assist our cement factories. So power is key, and we are working very hard, in our power. We just commissioned solar, street light in a local government over there. We changed the generator-based street light in Africa to solar own. So we are working very hard in power, and very soon power will be a thing of the past in Ebonyi State. We talk about youth and sports. People say that our stadium is second to none in the country. There is no stadium that the state box is that much and is air-conditioned. And when I went round, I say yes. I beat my chest and said, Father, we thank you in Jesus' name. So we are not done. We acquired a land in Norom Street, where we are going to build our modern stadium. And this will come to pass before us. It will happen. And I want to commend the Commissioner for Youth and Sports. A lot of people, all my commissioners and SAs and SSAs and PAs are very wonderful people. We quarreled at the initial time, but now we have come to understand ourselves, and these people are thinking outside the box, being very creative. And this particular one, among others, is very creative a person. And whatever we've achieved in sports has been by his own initiative. Even the renovation we did in stadium, which we are very happy. People come from outside the state to look at the stadium, and we praise God for that. And so we are going to start school sports, by December. We're also doing a town unions sporting activities, organize a very wonderful carnival in Ebonyi State, and so on and so forth. And so we thank God for what we are doing in sports. In the area of education, I want to thank God. We've been able to pay 200 million for overseas scholarship people, and we also have another 50 million which we have saved to assist them, next year. Initially, we didn't have money to pay them, so they were going on protests from one embassy to the other, and we were laughing at them, and we, opted to give them money to also reach America so that they can complete it. But when God gave us some grace, we started paying them. But we are not giving any new scholarship because of our situation. The fund we get is so small, and it's for every Ebonyian. So we must be able to carry all the sectors of the state, to move alongside with us. So we are happy with what is going on with overseas scholarship. When we breathe a little bit better, we look at those that were offered scholarship in the state locally, and nothing has been done for them. I want to assure them that they are not forgotten. And in the life of administration, we've been able to reduce school fees. But look at what other universities just announced increase in school fees in all the universities in Nigeria. And some were increasing 300%, some 400%, some 100%, but rather we have decreased our own school fees, and we're very happy about this, Our education has been very wonderful. The Commissioner for Education has been a mover in this direction. We've gotten, in the past 2 years, NECO, we came 10th each time, like in the past. And funny enough, what we were battling because of the kind of Commissioner of Education was cultism and examination malpractices, of which his school was, so much involved in it, and I was the deputy governor, and I mediated severally and chaired, peace move. And I want to assure him that his school that is sealed was sealed without my knowledge. But when I got to know, I endorsed it, because him very self as Commissioner for Education sealed many schools based on the platform that was agreed on ESCO. So it is that their program that we are implementing. And so he shouldn't be so angry, because some people that were affected by his own action did not kill him. But if he chose to be bitter, we pray thee, O God. So, but there have been the Association of Private School Owners that came to protest genuinely, and we are going to give them some assistance to meet up some of the challenges they are holding. And I have directed that the peoples that are schooling in these places that have been sealed should choose any school of their choice, and we will pay their school fees. So, yes, but don't choose the one that is too expensive, so that we'll be able to, function. But at the same time, we are going to assist the private school owners. If you are hearing me, I want you to praise God, private school owners, because we are going to give you some empowerment to assist you meet up with the, the program of government, including the former Commissioner for Education. If he comes up and apply to us, we will give him financial assistance so that he will also meet up, So yesterday I was inspecting Nkalago Road. I also veered off to inspect one primary school, and half of the teachers were not in school. The dressing of the teachers was so discouraging. The students or the pupils were just scattered everywhere. Nobody was in the classroom. And this is not the way to go. So I directed the Ebbc chairman to suspend the teachers that were absent and the headmaster, and they demote the headmaster. And I don't know the length of the suspension, but when you have satisfied your conscience in terms of the length of the suspension, then you push them outside the place. I also gave 300,000 naira to the teachers to change their wardrobe. And I wasn't too happy with the salaries of the teachers. I feel so bad, the meager salaries that our civil servants are receiving. It's something that we, in course of this address, will be addressing, because no one will truly survive with the kind of salaries that civil servants are receiving. Thank you. We are working very hard to complete the School of Nursing and Midwifery in Uburu. And we hope that by October, November, we should be able to enroll people there. We are transforming, please let me have your attention, let all movements cease, please. We are transforming the School of Health Technology at Ezambo. And we made moves to affiliate the College of Education in Ikwo, but also to Ebbc State University. But most importantly is that we are going to improve the standard of our teaching through the ICT. Already the essay on ICT is working very hard. A system whereby if we are teaching in Ebbc State University and if it is the same course on education, the students will be receiving the same teaching in Ikwo College of Education. I will be able to ask questions, in this direction. Just this morning, the Commissioner of Education told me that Ebonyi people made, those that made distinctions and those that made credits is 79.5%. 79.5%. So in NECO, so you can say that Ebonyi State is an A, state when it comes to education. And the examination malpractices, is 0.5. I'm sure that if we had closed this school, we closed by now, we'll be scoring 0 in examination malpractices. So, but let us see how it goes. So our education system is uploading. We've assessed, a total of 4 billion from UBEC since we came on board, and the federal government fund is 4 billion, that's 8 billion. And we've been able to reactivate and reconstruct a number of buildings, and a number of buildings, new buildings are coming up. We provided, some chairs, and we are also doing ICT in some of the secondary school like we want to do in the university, tertiary education. And so, we have also provided, 31, pilot schools with, agricultural program. We gave them some money so that they will be self-sustaining in terms of feeding themselves and in terms of agricultural program, because this is the way to go. So that is what we're doing in education. And the IGF, I want to tell Ebonyi people that we have so many fraudsters that are collecting our money, in IGR, and all that they are demanding from you is not from us. So in the weeks ahead, we are going to, Office of Deputy Governor is going to give us some phone numbers so that anybody that wants you to pay cash, you will immediately call, or call the SDS, or call the Commissioner of Police, or the Civil Defense, or any of the security agencies, and get the person arrested immediately. This is very important. And so the Deputy Governor is working with some consultants to reposition IGR, and I think we're going to do very well in that district. And then culture and tourism, what I will be preaching here is that Ebonyi people should go back to the cultural values, values of self-respect, values of honesty, values of contentment and godliness. These are the virtues which we are known for. And this is what the Ministry of Culture and Tourism is preaching. We are also preaching that we shouldn't forget our dialect. And we have proposed that every last Friday of the month, we should use it to dress in our native attire and also speak our Igbo language throughout Ebonyi State. I commend the Commissioner, for all the programs that she has organized, including this last cultural carnival. Great success it was. In agriculture, this is very important. I've said already that we are trying to, conclude our project on mushroom. Then the solar power we are building in front of Ebbc, underneath is greenhouse. We are making all this trial because agriculture is the way to go. We've reactivated the 3 giant rice mill, including the 4th one that was built by UNIDO. We completed that project, and we asked the private millers to, take it over. And we purchased 3 brand new, rice mill, which will be installed as soon as the rain is over. We are also onto a program of 10,000 hectares of land. And what we are going to be doing the weeks ahead is to find out the stakeholders in each local government that are interested in agriculture. I will talk more about the need for us to be interested in agriculture and then see how we can work with them. We have 8 billion naira which is a loan, and it's a soft one, which we want to use to develop agriculture. And we partner with whoever that is interested, but not to use the money to marry, but to use it to support agriculture. Let me unfortunately say that we borrowed 2 billion, CACS, which is federal government program, and we loaned this money to our farmers, and to date we only recovered 7 million. And this money is being deducted from our, allocation. It's a sad news, but we will not give up in agriculture. I'm very happy the giant stride we have made. Almost every land you see now is cultivated. If it is not yam, it is cassava, it is rice, it is vegetable. And the Minister of Agriculture has said that the export of yam in Ghana and Nigeria, that Ebbc State, provides 60% of it. And so we are going to, see a program whereby we start to satisfy our yam and start exporting it to the US. So the SA on cassava and maize, we also take up the yam because our yam is the biggest and the sweetest. Is sorted. Our rice is also making waves. There is no part of this country that you don't talk about Abakaliki rice, and it's also been spoken about, beyond the state. And we don't even have enough. We've not met the needs of Nigerians, but we also have people that come from Cameroon and the neighboring countries to buy our rice. So this program of 1 man 1 hectare we launched is very important. And I want our people to take it very seriously. And when I say that we address the plight of civil servants, I want you to be looking at this 1 man 1 hectare. But what we use to support it, I will let you know. So agriculture, we have moved the stake. We have moved the bar. And we have done very well that when you talk about agriculture in any gathering in Nigeria, Ebbc State will be mentioned immediately. But we've not gotten to where we should be. We are going to deploy our dozers from November. All those trees in our plantation, field are going to be removed. We are going to remove it, also talking with, some companies in Germany to say to us, equipments that uproot these trees and they chips it and could make it fuel for our biomass plant. This is very important, and this is what we're going to do. So in the months ahead, agriculture is going to be tackled neck to neck, because we won't lose the status of #1 in terms of rice production in this country. The Abakaliki rice must be defended by all means and at all costs. And then we get to solid mineral. Ebbc State, is the richest in terms of solid mineral in the country. But unfortunately, through the compromises of our people, we are getting no revenue from this. We are aware of a company that is very much involved in stealing this solid mineral. They stole before we caught the trucks. The intervention from above came and we released the truck. Just only 2 weeks ago, another 5 trucks were arrested. And so by my order and words, the trucks will not be released. The charge for the penalty is 10 million per truck. And that's what they will pay to release the truck, and they will forfeit the solid mineral. This is very important. And so my insistence in our solid mineral is that anybody doing anything about solid mineral should give certain percentage, I think we say 15% or 10%, to the community. And so community, you are collecting peanuts and mortgaging the future of our children. You must have a stake in that thing, because that's the only thing we have with the land. We are insisting on that. And then the state will also get 10%. And that's the basis of our discussion. And I'm happy to announce that Ebbc is making, serious efforts to start the Niger cell. He has concluded discussion with the Chinese, And very soon, without prejudice to the invitation by the House of Assembly, you can do your work. But from the last discussion, this is what I was told, and so very soon. I'm also very happy to announce about the commitment of Lafarge in the whole of Ebbc local government. They are investigating 5.76 square kilometers of solid mineral. They have done the first stage, and the second stage is the final stage to prove that we have good quality of limestone for them to site the cement factory. So put us in your prayers so that the quality will be good and will be smiling on. But we are very much in a haste to attract some other investors. We have a lot of solid mineral scattered all over, the state, and we are very committed to ensure that this solid mineral are harnessed, because where there is no oil, and that is just 5 years, nobody may be interested in buying oil, then Ebbc State will be the destination for this country. So we are discussing with, I sent our people to go to Ghana. Ghana, they have salt, and they told us that there is a demand by petrochemical companies in Nigeria for 1 million tons of salt, but they can't meet up. And what they do is that they're blessed. The salt is in their river. They just make a very big pond, and they take the salt water in. The evaporation happens, and then they collect the solids, and then go ahead and refine. So we have gone to Indiana in USA, where we got machines that can turn this water into a hypochlorite solution for water treatment. And so they are going to, in the month of October, come up with a pilot scheme, and we are talking with the federal government. When the pilot scheme succeeds, we will write an agreement with the federal government so that we can supply the hypochlorite solution for water treatment throughout the whole country. And that's going to be a big boost for us. To our south Abakaliki to Igbo, and we still counting. So this is a solid mineral. But I want to ask our people and those that are in charge of this, I commend you very highly. Of course, I've told you about the coal in Apipo North. We've tried to see if they can look at our, oil in Apipo North, but the minister told me that it's not yielding, but we'll not give up. We will still, check again and again. So I want to appeal to our people. There is funds by the federal government for cooperatives in solid mineral that they can assess and improve on the activities of the medium scale solid mineral people. And our funds are also available, the partnership with Bank of Industry, for them to assess. The same thing with the field of agriculture. I did mention that we have one machine we bought for starch production and 3 for cassava flour production. This is very important. In terms of justice, we have done quite a lot in making laws. But let me tell you one very important law we're going to make. I'm happy some states have made it, and that is going to be on hate speeches, and then you will prove whatever allegation you put. Whether you put it on social media or you write it on newspapers, we are going to make a law so that when you are accusing anybody, it becomes a department to be curated that will look at it and take you to court, and you must prove your point, and we're going to regulate hate speeches in Ebbc State. Already Kaduna did it, and I said, please, Your Excellency, export whatever you have in Kaduna and bring here. What is pulling this country down is not poverty, but it's our mouth and our minds. And you just sit down in one corner and start to destroy people, start to, say all kind of things you cannot prove. But you have to strengthen democracy so that he that cometh must prove his or her point. And we're going to insist on that. Because are they for us to prove our point and strengthen democracy. If somebody sits down in the comfort of his house to accuse you, the person has to be brought out by the law to prove the point. This is very, very important. And so I had said that we will not release any prisoner in this October. Before we release anybody again, We want to get a report from the prison authorities on the conduct of the person. We want to examine the people the person offended and be able to interact with them and find out if they are ready to forgive the person, because it's very important, because it encourages crime when somebody that has killed, and there are certain killings that are so terrible, dehumanizing. So you just come and it's because you have people in government, you say you release. We want to moderate it, so we're going to come up with a form to assess the prisoners who may be seeking amnesty. Will we be able to place you on 2 years probation? So every 6 months we evaluate you. If you commit any crime, not even the same kind of crime, but any crime at all, then you will now go back to prison and stand trial for the previous crime that you committed. So we're going to be doing this to ensure that people don't commit crime and know that somebody is in government and they're going to get amnesty. This is very important. We are reviewing a lot of our cases in prison, and the prison yard is unacceptable. And so we have embarked upon 6 gigantic buildings. Incidentally, these buildings are not built with blocks, but every stage of it, including the walls, the floors, the ceiling, the roofing, they are all made of concrete. So it's really prison and very expensive. So when we finish, it will be a great one. Let me also announce that in the months of November, we will start the process of removing all signboards. Signboards will hence be located on the roof of buildings, and we're going to increase the number of electronics billboards. I commend the Ministry of Information for the number of billboards they have. We already have one at Akanwidam. That one will come up tomorrow next, and it's 4-phase, electronic, billboards. We have in Presco Junction is 2-phase. We have Udensi here. We have 4 in Stadium. We are going to have more, so that people will advertise their goods and services through these billboards. And it's going to be a crime to paste any poster, not even the governor's poster or the president's poster, in any part of the world. So we will not paste posters again. People should be able to put their advertisement on the roof, or you put the poster on your buildings. Nobody will quarrel with you, but you cannot see public buildings or the flyovers. You paste the poster there. Anybody that pastes that poster even before the law comes on the flyover will be arrested, because you go to America, you go to China, you go to Dubai, you go to England, you will not see this. And if we pretend that we want good life, we have to start practicing it. We have to discipline ourselves to start the practice. Women Affairs, has done quite a lot in terms of, the people, the range people that are milling around. The ministry has been able to, take them into, custody, treating some of them, getting doctors to look after them, and some of our, children that are also below the age of conviction. They are also rehabilitating them, very seriously. In fact, the work they are doing are very silent work, but very, very vital in the affairs and services of our state. In terms of environment, we can go on and talk about our environment, but I want to say that I'm happy with what is going on in our environment. Before, I think the contractors were deceiving me until the new commissioner and the SA came on board, and the TAs on security. So they went round and they were posting the dead. So what they concentrated in the places some of us were passing, and so we were happy with them. But when they started posting it, so we stopped their monthly allocation. But we have spent over 784 million within these 2 years in paying the contractors. We pay about 28 million every month to the contractors. But henceforth, the contractors will earn it. So the TAs will, check if these jobs are done, and then if they are done before, they will release money to them. So I'm very happy with our environment, and they will still counting. We're planting trees, and I've directed the Commissioner for Works. I commend him very, very, very highly. Sometimes I pushed him beyond the limit. He dies and he resurrects, and that is you know, the only way we can do this. And so all projects that are ongoing, the roads, they are going to prepare beside the back of the drain, you know, 3 meters width, 3 meters width. And I've said that you will contact the local government chairman and coordinator, so that the coordinator, the management committee, will on their own, at no cost to government and to anybody, plant the wild grasses within these 3 meters. And then we will now give the local government seedlings, palm seedlings, so that as you're going through our roads, you will see palm seedling dotting the sides of the road from the beginning to the end. And this will look very beautiful, very beautiful. Maybe talking lastly on the welfare, you know, the Department of Welfare. This is one department that is too important to me, because even though others pertains to life, but this one is, you know, practical, you know, discipleship. That's the kind of thing our Lord Jesus Christ did when he was here. And Father Wally visits hospital from hospital. So at the time we started this program of hospital visitation, some people were treated and detained in the hospital because they could not pay their fees, you know, their bills. And so what we do from time to time is to visit all hospitals, both private and government hospitals, and then now release these people, pay all their, you know, bills, and then give them pocket money and give them some gifts. Sometimes we give rice, sometimes we give wrapper. And this is very dear to our heart, because it's one of the promises we made to God, who brought us into this assignment. And we have also involved the religious body, whereby we give them 20 million every month. And what do we do with that? We say to you, when you are preaching the word of God, and there is a saying that says that if a child comes to you and his clothes is torn and he has no food to eat, and you say to him, you're on top of your fufu, and you say to him, my son, God bless you, God will provide for you, he said, you have sinned. Because the real God bless you is to partake in that fufu that you are eating. And when he finishes eating, you tell him Jesus is Lord. He will say, indeed, he's the Lord of our lives. So to ensure that this happens, so we have given 20 million that is shared between CAN, and they use this to assist the indigent, you know, brothers and sisters in our churches. Some of them, when you hear their stories, you really know that this is God's program. And this is very important, and we get testimonies. And Father Wali insists that there should be pictures, evidences of the expenditures before another one is given. We also have moral instructors that go around all our schools and teach our, you know, children about moral education. You know, they also have program of anti-cultism in our primary and secondary school and universities. And this is very dear to our heart. And let me say that we have also assisted a lot of our brothers and sisters who are, you know, having one challenge or the other, like cancer, like kidney transplant, and so on and so forth. The documentations are there, and this is very, very, you know, helpful to us. And we also assist, I think from last month, you know, CAN and our divine mandate pastors, you know, give them small allowances to also go through our schools to assist us and our primary health centers to, you know, do this. This is very important. Let me also commend Her Excellency, my beautiful wife, because she's everything about the widows, you know, touches her, because she doesn't want to be a widow at all. And so through this department with Father Wali, you know, by tomorrow we will be having a program to empower about 4,200 widows with 100,000 naira each. And so those that want to fight this administration should also go and get 4,200 widows, praying for them every day, because you should understand the prayer of widows. I want to announce they pray for us every day, but this is the program that God asks us to do for them, and we are very, very excited, you know, about this. And that leads me most lastly to economic empowerment. You know, I feel so bad when people send text messages and say, I worked for you in election, you have not empowered me, you have not given me appointment. There is no any other state that has the number of appointments that we have. There is no any other state. And I was thinking in the past that you vote for people so that we give you light, give you water, give you electricity, and they provide an atmosphere for you to thrive in your business. But we are becoming too lazy, and this is not acceptable. We will not be doing more appointments in the near future because we have to balance these things. The meager resources we're getting, we have to provide security, social services and infrastructure, and lay a foundation for no oil economy that will soon come. So this is very important. But more important is what we have provided. Instead of giving you fish in the way of appointment, we are giving you the means of fishing. And this is very important. So we have made available 1 billion naira, which we are empowering 4,000 people, especially our brothers and sisters are doing hawking in Onitsha and Lagos and other cities, and some of our people that are also here. Each one will take a grant, of 250,000. And all that you require to do is to show us evidence of what you want to do with the money. And so if we have 4,000 and they employ 2 people, so we can get, 12,000 jobs. And it's not difficult. And I've been getting a lot of success stories whereby they send text messages and give, testimony of what this money, is doing in their life. So I ask every other person that this is the real reason why you voted for us, in addition to the infrastructure and safety and security which God, has provided for us. So this is very, very important. So this is where to go. In the Ministry of Commerce, together with Economic Empowerment, and is the Deputy Governor that is also, heading this empowerment, with Uche Noj, who is, I think his calling is in this empowerment ministry, not in agriculture, So they have done extremely very well, and we have 2 billion which we have saved, and we have attracted another 2 billion from the Bank of Industry, which is 4 billion. And this money is available for Ebonians. If you are living in Ebonyi State, you are an Ebonian, but the industry must be sited in Ebonyi State. This is the way to go. And so when people send text messages, they want appointment, I just feel that they don't know what they are doing. Because even those that are on appointment, the TAs and STAs and the management committee, by next year we are coming up with a program. Everybody must get something that the person will be doing, and we are going to fund you to have something that you are doing. My idea is that before the end of our first tenure, that we should be able to curate over 300,000 jobs in Ebonyi State, and this is the way to go. So I asked the section, the Deputy Governor and the Minister to publish all the people that benefited from the 250,000 grants and make it public, and publish the widows with their passports, and then publish all the people that have applied for this 4 billion loan. This is very important, and this will happen. And let me assure our people that we will gradually be moving into the international St. Margaret International Market, come next year early. I'm rounding up, but let me talk to our civil servants. There is nobody that is paid what you are paid, not only in Ebonyi State, that will be happy. But my happiness is that despite the fact that we have the lowest in terms of allocation, lowest in terms of IGR, lowest, there is no place we see federal government industry in Ebonyi State. There are no federal government, factories in Ebonyi State. And so we don't really have an IGR. But yet, we are not the least paid, civil servants in the whole of Southeast. We are not. 2 states in Southeast, they receive, 13% derivation. We receive none. But I have asked our people to go and collect the salaries of other people. And they have collected it, and I have seen it. We are not the least. But the truth is that what civil servants receive, not only in Ebonyi State, can do nothing for them. And that's why we want to, in the weeks ahead, to engage the civil servants in dialogue and discussion. We provided 1 billion, and we are assessing 1 billion from Bank of Industry to put down 2 billion for our civil servants to assess at 6%, profit. 6%. Even if you put this interest, even if you put this money in the bank, which will not allow you to, because the essence is to create activities, you'll be getting 15%. And this loan will last as long as your remaining service year. This is very important. This is very important. So we want everybody to be doing something, because the essence of being a public servant, civil servant, is to work. But when there is no money to develop the state, then there is nothing to work. And so I want to create additional activities for our civil servants. And somebody says, they were not cut out to do this. What were they cut out to do? To stay idle and get old. So this is where to go. And when I told the national NLC chairman about this, he said, look, this is the best thing that will happen to civil servants. And I'm sure he's coming here by next week, and I'm sure that he's going to replicate it in other states. Because I have to secure the future of the people. As the days go on, the value of the naira is going down. In an economy of where there is no oil, what shall we do to pay salaries in the next 5 years? So this is very important to our civil servants. We paid over 30% of gratuity that is owed since the creation of the state. Dr. Sam made efforts to pay, but the money they were receiving was so small. The last administration did not try at all. And so we paid about 30%. Before the end of the year, we'll pay another 20%. And that will be 50%. This is very important. We have ensured that the salaries of our civil servants are paid before 15th of the month. We have confusion about leave allowance. But I believe that with this facility available, nobody is talking leave allowance, because there is no leave allowance outside consolidated salary. All we are earning is already a consolidated salary. So this is very important. But I'm going to engage the civil servants. There are brothers and sisters who are going to be meeting and we're going to be discussing. I've said that 10 civil servants, especially those that are not supporting me, are the ones I want to see, so that we can sit down and discuss. And there is this temptation that even if I start development of infrastructure and I want to pay additional money to civil servants in the state, can the local government pay? The answer is no, they cannot. The local government cannot pay. So, and there is no way you have disparity of salary in Ebonyi state between local government and state. It doesn't happen anywhere. So this is very, very important for us to know. But I want to assure our civil servants that we appreciate your commitment and love for us and your prayers. And we're going to engage you in dialogue and discussion. And you will come out of that discussion, much better. In the area of health, we are going to build ultra-modern, I won't call it hospital, but it could qualify as a hospital, in Feta 1. That project will start next month. Because when we go around, we see people, in emergencies, those who cannot get accommodated, on passages and so on and so forth. And this is not the way we should go. So we are working very hard. We finished the design. And we are going to, start that project. And we are already renovating the 13th General Hospital. When you go there, I want you to see the quality of the work going on there. I want you to see the quality of the fence, the kind of blocks, the quality of the landscaping. And we have said that we want to have this kind of government house, gate house, in all the general hospitals, and I'm sure it will happen. Of course, we have built the Lassa Fever Center, which is serving the entire Southeast. We are buying a lot of drugs, especially HIV drugs, Lassa fever drugs, and so on and so forth. And luckily, the good CMD of the Federal Hospital gave us some doctors, in all the 13 local government. And I want to assure these doctors that will we, make their stay a bit better. We thank God on Easy Law. Next week we'll be sending the bill to the House of Assembly for them to look at, and when passed, we would have finalized everything about EZILO. And I want to thank Father Wali, and all those who work so hard, to give us peace in EZILO. And again, it is God who first told us that there will be peace there, and there is peace there. And so we are very happy about that. Our worry will now be how to save money to assist them, because that place is a forest, and we will not sleep well if they have no place to put their beds. Lastly, we can't exhaust everything. Let me thank the governors of Nigeria, governors of northern states, southeast governors, on the unfortunate situation we found ourselves, and the demonstration of patriotism and loyalty to the nation Nigeria. Let me appeal to our brothers and sisters that Nigeria, has heard you. Mr. President has heard you. There is no need to continue with hate speeches. There is no need to continue with violent agitation. There is no need to be abusing tribes, abusing Mr. President, abusing Southeast governors, abusing leaders of this country, abusing everybody, and trying to pose, danger to the existence of our people. We are not aggressive people. We are not untrustworthy people. We are people well cultured, very hard-working people. And so we have made our point. I've also had private discussion with Mr. President in New York. And I can assure Southeasterners that Mr. President will address all our concerns. And I thank the northern governors that even in my absence, they told me they had to go to South, South, and Southeast and assure our leaders that our people in the north are very safe. I want to thank them. I want to thank even our brothers and sisters that are over there. They came to us and said we should assist them to return home. We asked them, how do we manage over 12 million Southeasterners over there? And we said, look, nobody should come. We guarantee you your safety and security anywhere you live in this country. And I want to thank Nigerians and assure all the Igbos that they should go about their businesses tomorrow. You are safe and you are secured. And also assured all non-indigens that are within Southeast, go about your businesses. Nobody is going to molest you. Nobody is going to attack you. Nigeria, every Nigerian is free to live any way he or she wants to live. We have to discuss, we have to dialogue, we have to talk, we have to, talk in peace, to do everything to see that we live in peace, we live together, and that we are working together. Nigeria is going to be greater again. Nigeria will continue to see peace. And we are stronger when we are bigger. We are stronger when we are bigger. We are stronger when we are bigger. I thank the president, I thank the wife especially, who continue to encourage the Southeast governors and gave us all the courage. And even when we demanded for soldiers to withdraw from Aba, it was obliged to us. And so we are very grateful, and we ask our people, whether there is Operation Python dance or reptile dance, it is for the good of our people. Kidnappers may be our brothers, but they are not our friends. And these people are helping us to root out kidnappers and cultists. I get their report every day what they are doing. I assure you that nobody will molest you. I assure you that nobody is going to unjustly treat you. Let us work together. The Bible tells us as Christians to pray for our leaders. The way to go is not to insult our president. It doesn't help any agitation. You can, with respect, make your point. This is very important. And let me also tell our people that we play too much politics. It's only Southeast that you see petitions that are piling in Ebbc. Everything is about politics. We left the hard work we are known for into politics. Let's play less politics. That's why the tractors are not looking their way. We are working hard and we are praying hard. But the house of Saul will continue to go down, and the house of David will continue to grow. Our trust is in the name of the Lord. What we did was to save our brothers and sisters that are living in the north and other parts of this country, and to save also other Nigerians that are living in southeast. And people were phoning, some commending us, some condemning us by this leadership. We have no regret about taking up a position to ensure peace and safety of Nigerians. This is very important. So I want to thank you very much. And lastly, to appeal to Ebonians, we must go back to hard work. We must go back to hard work. We must go back to hard work. Let he that steal no more, but do things with his or her hand that we have and give to those that we need it. The oil will soon become an abandoned property, and so Ebonyi State will be the destination. We have the land, we have solid mineral, we have human resources, we have dedicated people, we have committed people, we have the people of God, we have people that are hardworking. And I'm very happy, and I can thank God, because a lot of our people, many of you seated here, they all have their farms. I asked my boy in the office, why did you not come to work yesterday? He said he didn't know I was going to come because he was in his farm. So all my anger disappeared because he was in the farm. So this is very important. Some of you, even the lawmakers, they have farms. They are doing big business. This is very important. A time will come, if we continue like this, you are called to take up a position in government. You say, no, I'm very busy. This is where we are going, and we get to our destination in Jesus' name. Lastly, let me thank Deputy Governor, my wife, Speaker, the House of Assembly, National Assembly members, the ESCO members, the chairman, my 13 wonderful disciples, the incoming coordinators, the founding fathers, the elders committee, all of you, you've been very wonderful. Will be very wonderful. And if you have been so pushed badly, forgive. Just know it is just for the sake of our children. Nobody, is against anybody. It's just for the growth of this state. And I'm not promising you that the push will stop, but just find it in your heart to forgive each time there is such push. There is nothing personal, but I want to commend you and thank you very highly. Thank the bishops in Ebbc State. Thank my dear pastor for the commitment, the prayers. God is hearing the prayers. Ebbc State is on the map. Ebbc State is in the move. I thank you very much. And the founding dreams, or the founding, the dreams of our founding fathers will never go unaccomplished through God and your helps. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Excellency. The message is very clear. Thank you very much, Excellency. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, behind the successful governor is a hard-working wife. Put your hands together for Her Excellency. Before we take the first question,
please sit down. Everybody sit down. We'll be through in the next 10 minutes.
please we want to open our telephone line so that we can take one or two questions. And the numbers are 0802 408 3108. I take the number again. 0802 408 3108. Please, you can call us on this number. Glory.
Thank you very much, The Excellency. I want to say that you spoke for 1 hour, 25 minutes. So put your hands together for him. Why the people of Ebonyi State commend you for your people-oriented projects? Sir, when will the government embark on the completion of abandoned projects by previous administration, knowing that this is Ebonyi money that is good? The second one is this, sir. Democracy is all about having opposition. What is the level of political tolerance in the state, considering what transpired in the state when an opposition political Nabakaleke? How will you address those? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I don't believe in abandoned projects. And when you talk about abandoned projects, the only abandoned project that is still abandoned is the international market, the World Trade Center, the Rice World Hotel, the Centenary City, and I will give you a brief history of each and every one of them. When we came on board, we announced severally that contractors, we did meetings with them, and we said, come. And our position is that any project that was completed by the previous administration and the certificate they churn out, we will pay, we will not verify. And that's what we did. But any project that, was ongoing at the time they were leaving, we would like to know, certificate generated, we'd like to review it. And so we called them for meetings, and we agreed that we're going to remeasure the jobs. And for example, the Centenary City, we are told that we are owing 2 billion to the contractor. But when we measured, the contractor is owing us 1.8 billion. And he signed. He's gone back to site. So if you put 2 billion and 1.8 billion, that is the Ebonyi money, 3.8 billion that would have gone through the drain. So we remeasured that project, we signed with the contractor, even though he's not doing much, but at least he signed and wrote me a letter. He wants to mortgage some of his properties for us to give him some money for him to complete the job. But new law we made will not allow that. So they are holding us 1.8. And the money we paid them, another 2 billion we paid them on roads. There is nothing like road there. It's all failed, and I agreed to fix it. So that's one. In the international, St. Margaret International Market, there are 3 lots. I would like you to take a tour of the place. You'll be crying for this state. I can't remember how many billions that have been sunk there. But what the total money the last administration left for us to pay was 4.5 billion. And we say, okay, let us remeasure. One of them agreed for us to remeasure. Instead of owing him 800 million, he started owing us 4.5 billion, 450 million. And he went back to site, and I think the people that gave him the job urged him to pull out. It's the same thing with the other 2. So a lot of money are with the contractors. So we have terminated the job. We have reactivated our program to start selling the shops. We have gotten Access Bank to finance the completion of the project. I think about 3 to 4 billion we complete the project. The Deputy Governor is working very hard with the Honorable Commissioner for Commerce and Industry. And so before the end of October, we'll be rolling out into the place, and I assure you that we complete it. And let those who are holding our money still hold it. We are too busy to ask. But if we don't ask, the generation to come will still ask. The International Trade Center is a monumental fraud. Monumental fraud. And when we carried out integrity tests on the structure, I can't even enter there because the integrity test failed. So the project is very unsafe. And the contractors is owing about 1.9 billion. in that project. And the records are there, and the evidences are there. And then you go to Ebonyi Rice World, a very good initiative of the former governor, Dr. Sam Ominyewu. But it became a scam in the past administration that instead of completing this project, it was a scam. You know, it was another, jumbo bag where money was going away. But on our own, we carried that elders committee, His Excellency CNO Obu is here and the chairman of elders committee. And we went and we advertised. We said, people come and take free of charge, complete and run and pay us. Nobody could do that. The room, as tall as you are, the room will be hitting your head. The toilets cannot accommodate, that table that is seated there. So it is an, very dysfunctional project. And so we are trying to see if we can use that place to do a program we want to start in Ebonyi State. And that is mentorship program. We want to get some of our brothers and sisters of, different professions. And we're starting with civil engineers to get some professors to teach them. They will stay there, and then we warehouse them there, and then teach them and take them to the sites. And after about 1 year, we'll be able to buy some equipment and give them some small contracts so that they can grow. So that in the next 3, 4, 5 years, we'll become giants contractors and will not import in other words. So this is the projects that are not that are left, and these are the circumstances. We've been thinking what to do with that tower, but I have the courage to demolish it. But there are processes that we go before we get to that level. We've not decided. But I won't tell another person's child to go under it. I'm a civil engineer, and I've been in practice since I left school. So I understand the integrity of a structure, and it's been subjected to structural integrity, and it failed. So these are it. The only other one project that is abandoned is the park that is in a centenary city. We have reviewed the project to the contractor, but it's not moving. So this evening I called him and I said, please, we are friends. We will terminate the contract so that we can finish it. So by Tuesday, we will write to terminate the contract so that the Minister of Culture and Tourism will have to complete it. Another project is the dualized route from PDP to the Ebbc. This is a dualized route, and unfortunately the past administration, one lane of it was a contract awarded to Setraco. And the government used army and police and chased Setraco away and said, leave this thing, we are going to do it. Said no, we have a contract from the federal government to do 1 lane. You do 1 lane. They said no. And awarded the project as over 4.7 billion. And that is, 5 kilometers of road. And so, when we came on board, we say let us measure. And though the Chinese company, they gave it, they had a certificate to earn of 990 million. But the House of Assembly went and measured and got about 800 million. The contractor is owing us. And the government went and measured. We got about 700 million that the contractor is owing us. So we asked them, let us do joint measurements. The man they sent, along the line, he said, after all, it's not his company that ate this money. They transferred him out of the country. And so they didn't want to continue with the project. So we terminated it. And we should, if we continue with that company, we should have been paying 3 billion to complete that job. But today we have spent about 300 million to get the job to where it is. And by the time we do concrete work, another 300 million will be spent, and that's the project. So there is no abandoned project without this history that we have abandoned. We are working because it's Ebonyi money. It's not the money of anybody. It belongs to Ebonyi people. So that is it. Then the issue of tolerance. I don't know what happened. I wasn't in the state, but anybody that says opposition should not do a rally, it's not well at all. And for me, after election, I have nothing like a party deepening into my soul. You know, it is work, the people, services. That is very important to me. But those guys are, they are clowns, just making noise. Because opposition is not saying that if 13 bulldozers brand new were bought, you right they were not bought. Is it opposition? It's maliciousness. Opposition is not to carry sand and be tipping on the road they could not do, which I did for them. Opposition is not to be saying the ring road should not be done. People that could not build road for themselves, I built the road for them. Even though the road was given to them twice to build for themselves, and they did not build it, and I built it. And instead of saying my grandson, well done for helping me, and then you are coming in the name of opposition. How can I be doing sometimes I get ashamed. How can the two former governors, I'm their grandchild, and they're tackling their grandchild? They have light in their places. I built roads for them. What is it they're looking for? Because they were in this position before, but they could not do anything. And I'm doing it. Let's do opposition of facts. Let's do opposition of substance, not opposition of bitterness of the heart. They have nothing to accuse us of. They have nothing. What is it that they have done in the past administration that we did not do? Say we are not making permanent secretaries. Where did they say that I must make permanent secretaries? Are we going to make permanent secretary outside the, civil servants that are there? So I think opposition should be constructive and not being malicious, and they filled their lives with bitterness.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Let's take this call. Hello?
Hello?
Hello, please tell us your name and your location, please.
Hello?
Hello, may we know who is on the line? Please, may we know who is on the line?
Okay, thank you so much.
We couldn't get you. Who?
Should I go with my question?
Go ahead with your question.
Hello? Hello?
Hello, we can hear you. Go ahead with your contribution. Your Excellency, before we take further call, we have some text messages from esteemed listeners from outside. One is coming from Sunday Enye from Ikwo. He wants to know the true position with the 4 billion naira loan from the Bank of Industry and how he can access it.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. We can hear you now.
Hello?
We can hear you.
Great.
Please, may we know your name?
I want to thank His Excellency. This is a very fine. In fact, I am very much interested as my focus house to listen to the immigration aspect. And I wonder if His Excellency will come by and call his wife. But I can find this aspect. My focus is really studying. Both of them. I want to thank you. Is a government agency. I am still most very interested for all of the administrative experiences our state. So I think the government in the name of Jesus. However, I want to ask these two questions. Number one question is, Your Excellency want to know what the government is doing or thinking to find to resolve the disease and impose crisis. Not as a big university between the neighboring brothers, just like what we did at Ebbc law. That's number one question. Number two, I want to ask Your Excellency what happened that want to stop at the road, you said building to other branch, to the market. Which I want to have connected to the This is the two questions that I have. Is Excellency. They are just the Morongo and the country are here in the road and no other person that will do my business in the Thank you, Your Excellency.
Okay, thank you very much. You can listen to our radio while Your Excellency will react.
Before you react, Your Excellency, one more question from callers outside. This one is coming from Emeka Wale from FM. He said, Your Excellency, your Chief Press Secretary last week was at FM in Ikri Road and assured us that you do the road because we are really passing through hell. My question is, Your Excellency, kindly help us, because even if it is at least ordinary grading, the road when fixed will open up a floodgate for agricultural produce for the good people of the area. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Okay, thank you. Very quickly, position of 4 billion loan and how to assess it. We already have said it here. The 4 billion is 2 billion from us, our savings, and 2 billion from Bank of Industry. We charge no interest in our own, but Bank of Industry charges about 10%. So when you add our own, it dilutes the 10% and brings it to 5%. And that's why the loan is at 5%. Even in overseas, you hardly can get loan at 5%. But this is happening in Ebonyi State. So all you need to do is to approach office of the Deputy Governor or office of the Economic Empowerment or Mrs. Ugonnachi, that is the chairman of the fund, or the Commissioner for Economic Empowerment. You now go and see the distance, but it's not going to be a grant or something that you take. You know, it will be assessed the way banks, you know, give out their loan. This is very important. But the important thing is that it's not a 1-year loan. It's not 2 years. It will be as much as 5 years, as the case may be, and the interest rate is very low. So that is it, and I wish you well. Thank you, the man that asked and that commended us and asked about resolving the Z and Igbo crisis. We've gone very far in this matter, and all it takes is, I know it's Abakaliki is talking about and Igbo. All it takes is for, okay, we have it's one issue, just Abakaliki and Igbo. All it takes me is to make our time to visit the site, and the matter will be resolved. And that both parties are willing that we amicably resolve the matter. It's not so deep a matter that we cannot handle. The Lord who handled the Zilong is still the Lord over Ebonyi State. Wezeni Igbo Road is part of the ring road, and that's why in any civilized country, and you see Ebonyi people that are writing petition about ring road, they even said the cost of the ring road, and I said, you fix the cost of the ring road, but I'm not working with your cost. Your cost in the last administration is so fraudulent. You know, you can come and check our papers, you know, and see what is going on. The Paris Club they mentioned, the Paris Club was a consultant, you know, wrote petition to EFCC that we should pay him 10%, and we say we'll not pay you 10%. And so EFCC has investigated Paris Club in Ebonyi State. And very soon we will publish everything about Paris Club. We collected, how it was approved by the House of Assembly, how it was spent, including all the vouchers. That is us. And we also published the bailout funds, how it was collected and how it was spent. This is very important. And we also published the vouchers and who collected it. But I want you to be prepared to ask civil servants. So this road you talked about is part of the ring road, and that's why I have vowed that the road must be built. The road must be built. So I want you to rejoice in the Lord, because it will happen. The Efsham road, yes, my Chief Press Secretary, I commend him very highly. It's now that I have Chief Press Secretary, and I'm happy about that. people are asking me to appoint deputy. I say I will not, because this man is both chief press secretary and deputy. And I want every other person to do what he's doing. Go back to your constituency. Branch to school that the way I did yesterday. If these people know, like in our construction sites, no contractor is at ease. Because our future is moving. The deputy governor is coming. The House of Assembly is coming. Ministry of Works, lands, you know. So it is store of the places, and the local government chairman and coordinator and management will soon begin. And any of these people have the power to, stop the work at any point in time. It doesn't matter who has the work. So this is very important. So I commend the chief press secretary, and I want to assure you that this road is also part of the ring road, And when the rain is over, because we've taken up 20 kilometers, and I believe strongly that by December we should be able to start this project, So we will do that.
His Excellency is talking about the road leading from Effiong to Inikri that connects Benue.
Okay. That dream has not come to me. What we can do is, through Chief Press Secretary, is to grade the road, because I have to finish what is in my hand. I'm not like the past administration that was always doing a budget, one project for the past 8 years. Each year they will just take up the budget and dust it and remove the date. So I don't do like that. I have to finish the ones that I'm doing and commission it before I start new ones.
Thank you very much. If His Excellency approves, we are going to conclude this program to enable us to attend the night of praise, which is already in progress.
Yeah, we are on air now, live, so we should move immediately to stadium, national anthem.
Please, can we take the national anthem?
National anthem, signaling the end of the media chat between the state governor and men and women of the fourth estate of the realm, journalists, media practitioners in Ebonyi State. Like I did say, it is a part of the activities marking the 2017 independence anniversary of Nigeria and the anniversary celebration of the salt of the nation, Ebonyi at 21. On behalf of the Director General of Ebonyi Broadcasting Corporation, Engineer Timothy Nwashi, who has been working assiduously to ensure that we bring to you the details, the happenings, every bit of the happenings here, and of course the leader of the ASAD broadcast crew, Engineer Chief Shuguno Yotobo, Sunday Ndukwe, our engineer on duty, Ndubisi Ogodo Keleshi Okabe, and of course Oji Oyekozu. Our cameraman is Naji Oji Johnson Ushe Obonna, and also former is who has been on the A-box Adana Okoro. We are not also forgetting the likes of Shima Kalu Oji, Ndu Weke Maria Water, who is there in our live studio making sure that we bring to you the details on our short television. My name is Emenike Ogalagu, and of course my colleague has been here, Angela Ekuma.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful time here interacting with His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Ebonyi State, Engineer David Nweze Omahi. And on behalf of our Director General and of course the Ebbc outside broadcast crew, we say have a beautiful, beautiful night rest. And of course you can also continue, following our programs on 98.1 Salt FM and our on Salt Television. Good night.
Are just nothing but truthful lies. I know the things that I know you are until you choose to do me so. Now I see, higher than the height of the mountain, deeper than the depth of the ocean, further than the eyes can see. When we talk spirituality, I see wider than the width of the desert, lower than the depth of the ocean, further than the eyes can see. When we talk spirituality, spiritual healing. Open your eyes, spiritual healing. Free your mind from hate, spiritual healing. We never got the chance to make it right. Cause right from the beginning some people don't they fight. They're fighting for the same thing, this is not right. And brightness only come from when you see the light. Life is so simple but they make it complicated. To be civilized you don't have to be educated. Let's make it happen so with time will not be wasted. Most of the things anticipated, like don't trample upon another man to be elevated. Inflated egos can surely be deflated. The power of forgiveness is underrated, but with love and equality we all were created. I keep saying these things cause I know I keep on saying these things until I go. And now I see higher than the height of the mountain, deeper than